We're doing solving systems of equations by elimination, and you got this word sub here, which basically is subtraction. I don't know why they took off a couple letters, but we're going with subtraction. Did you say you needed a charger? I'm sorry, I forgot. Now, basically what happens, if you look at number 1, it looks just like the work from yesterday. The problem is, let's cut the side conversations. If I look at the x's here, what's 5 plus 5? 10. 5 plus 5 is not 0. 5 plus 5 is 10. And what's 6 plus 2? 8. 8 is not 0. So if we look at number 1, we are not able to do the strategy from yesterday because we don't have anything making 0. You cannot say 5 plus 5 makes 0. It doesn't. It makes 10. So we have a pretty easy change. Students in class, you've heard me say it. We've got 5 seconds extra here. So it says, what do you do if they are the same number and the same sign? Which is a problem because we want same number, different sign. We're going to change all the signs on the top equation and then rewrite. All right. Now, honestly, when it comes to the words at the top, I think, they're fine. If you actually watch me do it here, it's going to make a lot more sense. Okay. What we're going to do, zoom in on number 1. Notice, and I hope you notice that this 5 is almost what we want, right? If we could make that 5 negative, then we'd be in business. The problem is it's not negative, and we have to do a little tiny bit of work in order to make it negative. Now, in order to do that, we have to do the whole top equation. And what we're going to do, I'm going to draw a little arrow here. What we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this equation, and we have to change every single sign. Now, this is basically the only new step today, so I'll explain it one more time before we do it. Top equation, rewrite it, change every single sign. If you only change one sign, it's wrong. If you only change 2 signs, it's wrong. You have to change every single sign, which is not hard to do. On the top, it says 5x. What is the opposite of a positive 5x? Negative 5x.
So basically change everything on top?
Yep, very easy. So if it says plus 6y, what's the opposite of plus 6y? Minus 6y. This is not, I'm telling you, this is not difficult. Positive 3, what's the opposite of that? Negative 3. Okay? Now, since we did that, we don't need this top one anymore because we already kind of remade it, right? We improved it. And at this point, this question looks exactly like yesterday. At this point, you got a positive 5, you got a negative 5. Every single thing you did yesterday is what we're going to do. No new information whatsoever. We're already finished with the new stuff today. And in fact, there's not even extra stuff for me to show you or extra tricks. That's the whole thing. If they don't match, or I suppose if they do match too closely, and you have a positive 5, just change one of the equations to the total opposite, and that's the whole thing. So now let's add them up. Let's do everything like we did yesterday for the elimination adding. 5 minus 5 makes 0. 5 minus 5 is 0. So we're not going to worry about those x's. We're going to focus on the y's. What is 2 minus 6? Negative 4y. And what is 11 minus 3? 8. All right, how are we feeling right now? Do you have a question about how we got here? Okay. Does it have to do with the x part, or the y part, or the number part? Okay, so I don't know if it's like a distracted by a computer type thing, but basically right here is where we started. right? Here, I'll show you. This is just, here's a blank sheet of the notes, okay? It's plus 5 plus 5. That's a problem. That makes 10. If we could make this a negative 5, we'd be good. So we need a strategy to make it a negative 5. The problem is we have to change every single thing. You can't change only one. You have to change all of them. So we make it negative 5x, positive 6, so negative 6y, positive 3, negative 3. I'm just taking the top one, and I'm change. Scribble out the top one, and then add them up just like yesterday. Okay? You're confused? All right, I've explained the first question twice through, so just follow with me, Jamil. Just write everything I write down. When we get to the second one, I'll explain it again. Okay? Divide by negative 4. I'm sure lots of students in class are kind of feeling good. Maybe they're already looking at the answer. Y equals negative 2. I'm going to put this negative 2 right here. It's going into the y position because my coordinate is always x comma y. And then I'm going to take the y, I'm going to plug it back into the top. And I guess this might be a tiny bit different than yesterday because I've kind of crossed off the top equation. So I just use what is now the top equation, right? And I'm going to put this y into that y. So I should have 5x plus 2, and here's where the negative 2 goes, equals 11. And all of that is going straight into Desmos. You know, I could try to solve it. I could multiply this. I could add it to the other side. We're just kind of using Desmos to help us fix the easy algebra stuff. Plus 2 times negative 2 equals 11. Click. Now, when it comes to Desmos, you might have to zoom around a little bit for these questions. This one's nice and easy. It's a 3. So that 3 is going into the x position, and we are finished with the question. All right, that was the first one. You got that written down? Let's move on to number 2. And if you aren't feeling confident on this, you gotta give me your full attention. Jimo, you ready? Number 2. You ready, man? Okay. When I look at number 2, I'm going to look at the x, and that is not canceling out. And it's not even close because they're different numbers. When I look at the y's, is 4 plus 4 0? No. 4 plus 4 is 8. Right? If I got $4 and I get $4 more, I got $8 now. So this is also not good. I need to make a small little change. Now, let me be clear about something really quick. I need to make a change. I want to take this equation and change all the signs so that I get a negative 4. But when I do that, it's because I want to add these up like this, right? So when I write this equation, my handwriting and my organization is really important, okay? I had a lot of students who said, Mr. Collier, I rewrote the problem. They're like, okay, Mr. Collier, I rewrote the problem. I don't know what to do. And it's like, dude, what is this? What kind of handwriting is this? You got to write it in nice columns where everything is lined up where it should be. Don't write giant, sloppy numbers that don't make any sense, right? A lot of times, understanding things is just about writing neatly, staying organized, taking it one step at a time without skipping. So, all the numbers were right there, but I'm going to write them in the correct position now. This 3, keep it in the same column, negative 3x. Make sure you change the sign. That's a 4y, negative 4y. And I'm keeping everything nice and tight, nice in line. Positive 13, negative 13. I'm doing all opposites. Now that I've done all opposites, I don't need the top equation anymore because I have the better version right here. And at this point, it is an entire question from yesterday. There is no new material whatsoever. I'm going to add them up. We already talked about how it's the y's that are going to cancel out. It's the y's that are going to make 0. 4 minus 4 is 0. So we've got -2, -3. That makes -5x. If you're not sure, use a calculator. Use Desmos. -2, -3 is -5. Let's put an equal sign. What is -2, -13? -15, I heard it in class. Nice job. And then we always divide. Divide by -5, divide by -5. Our x number, 2 negatives makes a positive. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Should be positive 3. Should be positive 3. Correct. Parentheses, this 3 goes in the first position because x numbers go in the first position every time. I take the 3, I plug it in, and when I take this 3 and I plug it in, I'm going to get -2 parentheses 3 plus 4y equals -2. I made sure that this 3 went in to the x position. -2, there's my 3 plus 4y equals -2. Remember we talked about it, you should always have only one letter at a time. So the only letter I have right now is y. Let's go to Desmos, let's type it in. Doesn't take very long. -2 parentheses 3 plus 4y equals -2. Look around a bit. I'm getting 1. Okay, 1. All right, we've done 2 questions. Any issues so far? How's our confidence feeling? Are we feeling kind of a little bit lost? Feeling like, okay, Mr. Collier, hurry up. You're taking a little long on these. We doing okay? Okay, 2 more. Let's knock them out really fast. Number 3. First of all, I'm going to put 1 in front of both my x's. Just typically a pretty good strategy. When I look at the x's, I've got 1 plus 1, which is 2. That is not 0. 1 plus 1 is 2. That's a problem. That doesn't work. Then I look at the y's. I've got -7, +6. That does not make 0. So I have a problem. But these x's are very close. I can just do a little rewrite and I'll be good. So I'm going to look at this top line. I'm going to write it neatly underneath -1x. Now, how do I do the opposite of a -7y?
Make it positive.
You make it positive, right? I mean, that is not hard. Just do the opposite. -42. I don't need the original 1 anymore because I got the better version already. Now I just add them up. I'll be done with the question in about a minute. These 1's make 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. I hope we're all on the same page there. 6 plus 7 is 13. 3 minus 42, it's a big number. No reason to kind of rush myself. 3 minus 42, -39. And let's do a divide. Y equals -3. Again, I kind of maybe did that one in my head when I should have typed it in and showed you, but -39 divided by 13 is -3. Okay, all we need to do now is get that other number. The -3 is in the y position. It needs to go into the y number. 1x plus 6 times negative 3 equals 3. We're typing all this stuff in a Desmos. Has anybody gotten the answer already?
21.
I heard 41 or 21?
21.
Nice job. It is 21. Good catch.
More.
21. If I need to show it to you, you know, I'll type it in just because. Doing the notes and we're almost done. 1x plus 6 times negative 3 equals positive 3. Make sure you do a little zoom out. There it is. It's 21. All right, last question. Last question says you try. So there you go. I'll give you about a minute. I really expect you to be able to start, and really you should be able to find that first number. No problem. All right? I'll worry about the bathroom pass after notes. We've only got one question left. If you already got the answer, I'll check it out. I'll give you about, I don't know, maybe another minute or so to look at it. Nice job in the car. Good work. Nice. 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 Very good. Seeing tons of good answers, tons of right answers. Maybe I am going too slow for you guys in this class. No, I'm trying this out, writing this down, doing some kind of weird Chromebook thing. Nice job. Nice job. Lots of good answers. I'm seeing excellent work so far. Okay. Frustrated today. We talked about this, talked about writing the notes down. No. And let it go. Nice job. Perfecto. Muestra abajo, Marcos. All right, let's see it. I've seen excellent work from the people that I've noticed working hard. Nice job. We're going to see this, and it is not a perfect setup, so we're going to switch it up. It's a 3x. Change that. Negative 3x, positive 1y, positive 3. It's a negative 1, so we made it positive 1. All of that, we don't need that anymore. Nice, it's all lined up, it looks good. My 3x's are going to make 0. 2 plus 1 is 3y. Negative 12 plus 3 is negative 9. And we're going to divide by 3. Y equals negative 3. Now that's the second half of our answer. It needs to go into the y, which is the second number, which is the y after the 2. So I'm going to write 3x plus 2. That's where the y goes. Negative 3 equals negative 12. Taking all this to Desmos to see what we get. 3x plus 2 parentheses negative 3 parentheses equals negative 12. And I click on it. Negative 2. Negative 2. All right. There we go. We did these questions. It is not, like I said, 95% the same thing as yesterday. Your one step is to rewrite it. The only thing I got to say, rewrite it neatly. Don't be writing in big giant letters all over the place. And rewrite it in the correct kind of position. Make sure that you write all 3 as the opposite. If you only do an opposite of 2, it's going to be wrong. Okay, nice job. That's it for the notes. Woo!